Hello, everyone. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Here we are again. So this is the second live stream of my day. I was on very early this morning to talk about the sealing, or rather, the sealing that should have happened earlier than it did of the court records for Sarah Wanderer, and the publication by Idaho Statesman, East Idaho News, and I think a couple of other publications picked up on it as well. But we're not here to talk about that today, unless there's anything that you want to ask me about it. But I covered all of that this morning. So what I'm here to do is give you some updates, what's the latest on the Michael Vaughn case. And I was going to play the press conference of the missing 9-year-old from Wendell in North Carolina, Bentley Stancil, who went missing yesterday. But thankfully, just a few minutes before I started preparing this live stream, he has been found safe. So 9-year-old Bentley Stancil from Wendell, North Carolina, has been found safe. Found safe. So that's great news. The sheriff did do a press conference this morning, North Carolina time. There was a whole range of search and rescue people out there. The FBI was involved. There was drones flying early this morning. First light they went out. They were out late into the night last night. I did a short piece, just a short raising awareness piece this morning on Michelle Walks, just to say, you know, look out for this little guy. He's out there. He was meant to get on his school bus yesterday morning, so that'd be Tuesday morning, and he didn't get on the bus, and he wandered off, and he was seen walking around the woods or running towards the woods near his home. And then he was spotted around 10 a.m. Tuesday morning outside of a restaurant. I think he must have been caught on CCTV or something. Anyway, that was the last sighting of him, about 2 miles away from where he should have got on the bus. And he was missing the whole night. Obviously, they were concerned about the weather conditions. It was very cold and very rainy. They were concerned about hypothermia. But today he has been found safe. So I'll just share this story with you. There's not much to report as of yet, but missing Wake County boy found safe. This was Bentley. Cheeky looking little chappy there. So Wake County, North Carolina, missing 9-year-old boy has been found safe. Sheriff Gerald Baker said Bentley Stancil was located in some woods in Wendell just before noon. Investigators said they were following up on some information they had received when they located the boy. The Wake County Sheriff's Office said he left his home and was walking to a bus stop, did not get on the bus, and was seen running into nearby woods. The sheriff said they will be speaking with the family about why the boy ran away, but the important thing is that he's safe. So that's all we've got. But if there's issues going on in the family, I'm sure that will all be sorted out. What's important is that Bentley Stancil has been found safe. So that is great news. It's fantastic news. It is. It's good to get great news for a change. I mean, we cover so many horrendous cases, don't we, in the true crime community. And if your whole day is focused around crime cases, we talk about the most horrendous ones. But we have to remember that actually most people who go missing are found. They are found very quickly. So, usually safely, for a whole variety of reasons and circumstances. But we don't know why he ran away. Clearly, he ran away of his own volition. He wasn't abducted. They issued an Amber Alert late last night. And the sheriff in the press conference explained why they issued the Amber Alert, although they said there was no reason to assume at this moment in time that he'd been abducted. Well, he clearly hadn't been abducted. He'd run away of his own volition. So, yeah, any issues that has caused that, I hope that will be sorted and Bentley will go on to live a long and happy life. And yeah, I'm curious about what he was running away from. Oh, wrong one. The chat jumped. Got to ask what he was running from. Don't know. Maybe family issues. Who knows? Maybe, yeah, exactly. Didn't want to go to school. Maybe didn't like school. I don't know. Don't know. Don't want to speculate too much on that. But absolutely, Trixie Star. Time is of the essence. If you get the news out quickly, if you get the searches out quickly, then the chances are, especially with kids, you know, if those first few hours are crucial. But clearly at 9 years old, he was able to, I don't know, look after himself for the night. It must have been a cold and very uncomfortable night. For whatever reason, he didn't go home. So the sheriff said they were hoping that once he got cold and hungry, he was going to go home. So there's obviously a reason why he didn't. But yeah, like I said, at least he's found safe. Is it just you or is the screen blurry? I don't know. Looks like it's just you. It's not looking blurry for me. I don't know. Don't know the answer to that. It could be lagging a little bit. I'm not sure. I don't know. So we're going to get into the latest on Michael Vaughn. But firstly, if you will allow me 5 minutes of your time to update on a case that I was following back in April, so about 6 months ago, back in the spring. There was a missing woman in my county by the name of Kenyon. So she went missing. She was missing for about a week. I've got some information about her. She was found about a week later in the Forest of Bowland. So it's kind of northeast of the county. I'm in the southwest, so it's the opposite side of my county, and my county is quite big. So she was found and she died from head injuries, the autopsy revealed. So she disappeared on 22nd of April and was found in a remote area in a shallow grave. And she was murdered. And the guy that murdered her was her ex-boyfriend, Andrew Burfield. And he was awaiting trial. He pled not guilty, was awaiting trial. The trial happened. The trial did happen. And it started on Monday. And then today, he changed his plea. That's him. Rough looking dude. Changed his plea to guilty. So the Lancashire Telegraph has been updating because they're not allowed cameras in the court or anything like that. Not allowed to broadcast trials in England. There are some courts now trialing the use of cameras in courtrooms, so hopefully that will take off. But 10:11 a.m. the judge entered the courtroom. This is today. The jury entered the courtroom. Tim Story, defending Burfield, told the judge that the now 51-year-old would like to be rearraigned on the charge of murder. And then seconds later, he pled guilty to murder. The jury had to be asked whether they considered, based on the evidence presented already. So remember, there had been 2 days of the trial. This was the beginning of the 3rd day. Thank you, Foggy Mom, for the $19.99. That's very kind of you. So the jury was asked, based on the information that they'd heard already, did they consider Burfield to be guilty? And they said yes. So the judge told the court that he will sentence Burfield tomorrow, will take place at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So hopefully it's life in prison. In England, life doesn't mean life, usually. It's the most horrific, horrendous, usually like serial killers who will get life with no possibility of parole, or no possibility of parole for a long time. The mandatory sentence, the lowest mandatory sentence, so they have to give, the judge has to give 15 years, and then they can add on whatever they want to based on things like aggravating factors, the fact that he dug a grave and this was very premeditated, hopefully will add some years onto that sentence. And what I've got from Twitter is a short piece to camera. Where's my profile? That one of the detectives, the lead detective, did to camera. So this is just the thread here. This is Katie Kenyon. Katie was a happy, much-loved mother, sister and daughter who was murdered by someone she should have been able to trust. That someone was 51-year-old Andrew Burfield, who, despite initially denying any knowledge of her whereabouts and changing his story throughout, has today pled guilty. He premeditated the attack, travelling to Bolton by Bowland, so the forest where she was found before the murder, to dig a grave. Today, DCI Al Davis was at court as Burfield gave a guilty plea on the third day of his trial. Andrew Burfield put Katie's family through the unimaginable pain of going to trial only to plead guilty several days in. So let's listen to what this detective has to say. It's in two pieces, so I've no idea. So let's take a listen.
Where I've sent myself and Katie's family welcome today's guilty plea from Andrew Burfield. Mr. Burfield is a man who elected to run a trial despite overwhelming evidence of the barbaric and...
My screen isn't sharing. All right. Okay. All right. Now it is. Okay. So I read from this article, BBC News. That's Katie there, 33 years old. So this is from Twitter. That's Andrew Burfield. Didn't realise my screen wasn't sharing. Sorry, guys. So now 51 years old, despite initially denying any knowledge, premeditated his attack, travelling to the murder scene beforehand to dig a grave. And I don't know how he managed to lure her there. But his van was seen in the area. There was phone pings in that area. They caught him. He was one of these criminals who's just very bad at being a criminal. They caught him very quickly. She was found and he was arrested. And then he's been sat there waiting trial. So anyway, this is DCI, so Detective Inspector Al Davis, who was at court outside Preston Crown Court. That's where I did my jury service back in 2020. I remember lining up at those doors to get searched every day. Oh, yeah, I remember that very well. All right, so let's listen. It's in two pieces, two parts. All right, let's listen.
Myself and Katie's family welcome today's guilty plea from Andrew Burfield. Mr. Burfield is a man who elected to run a trial despite overwhelming evidence of the barbaric and violent nature of his attack on poor Katie. In my entire police service, I have never come across an occasion where I've seen a man who's had such a degree of premeditated planning and cowardly methodical planning to kill somebody. Myself and Katie's family welcome today's guilty plea from...
Okay, so there's another section to this. Not only did Burfield murder Katie in an abhorrent and violent attack, so she died of head injuries, so she was basically beaten about the head, but he also tried to conceal her body and repeatedly lied to try to cover up his vile actions. So each one of these things will be an aggravating factor, and hopefully the judge will add years on for each one of these aggravating factors. He's nothing short of a vindictive monster. He will be sentenced tomorrow. This has come from Lancashire Police. Look, us northern types, right, we don't mince our words. And that goes for the police in the area as well. We don't mince our words. I know quite a few, or at least I used to in my previous life. when I used to work, did some work for Lancashire Police for 9 years ago now. Yeah, and they don't mince the words. They want to nail the bastards. So nothing short of a vindictive monster. So let's listen to the rest of this by DCI Davis.
Through the investigation, we were able to establish that Mr. Burfield had in fact travelled to the area of Bolton by Bowland Forest the day prior to Katie's murder. We also were able to establish that he took a spade in order to dig a shallow grave. Additional to this, one of the most chilling aspects of this is that Mr. Burfield had actually planned to do this weeks earlier. We were able to establish digital evidence that he had written text messages that he subsequently went on to send to Katie's family. We know that he had murderous intent on his mind at the point where he drafted those messages. Through the investigation, we were able to establish that Mr. Burfield...
Okay, so that's all we've got. That's all we've got. So... at least he is off the streets, won't be able to hurt anyone else, and hopefully the judge will send him down for a very long time. So for those people who say to me, Michelle, why don't you cover crimes in your own country? I'd love to see you cover crimes in your own country. I do. I do. It's just that people don't notice that I do, but I do. I covered the search for Katie Kenyon over on Michelle Walks back in April. More recently, I've been covering the murder of little 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Coble, who was murdered just 28 miles away from my home. So I do cover UK crime. But the majority of my viewers are from the US. So it's the US cases that get big. And it's the US cases that everybody wants to talk about. And that's fine by me because I cover all of those cases anyway. You know, I'm interested in those cases anyway. All right, let's now move on to Michael Vaughn. Michael Vaughn. Okay, so we've got some updates about Michael. Just let me get Michael Vaughn up here. So this is really confusing. And as I was talking about Katie just then, I did see some confusion in the chat about this. So let's kind of start at the beginning here. So earlier today, they sealed the documents. And I think they're still sealed. So kind of started here about an hour ago. So it's currently 20 past 6 my time. So it'll be 20 past 11 a.m. Fruitland time. And Morgan Romero, who has been covering this case, one of the reporters, said, the case of the woman charged with failure to report a death in the Michael Vaughn disappearance is now sealed. It's not showing up in I courts or Payette County Magistrate Clerk. Payette County Magistrate Clerk confirmed it's because the whole file was sealed. So people were saying that they'd made the right decision, and I believe that they've made the right decision because clearly people can't be trusted when documents are sealed. They've managed to get their hands on that documentation beforehand, and a loophole in the law, as we discussed this morning. The loophole in the law seems to allow them to publish the details from sealed documents as long as they had those documents beforehand, and as long as they didn't get them illegally. So God knows. Anyway, there's the machinery's back. So this is Nicole Kamada. Again, she's been covering the case. Big machinery seems to be back. Crews look like they're continuing to work in the backyard. So it was said yesterday by Chief Huff, if you followed the updates yesterday, Police Chief Huff said that they'd be working for about a week on the property. They've also now got access to the inside, so they'll be processing the inside of the property. The search warrant that they issued Sarah Wanderer on Friday evening. She made some significant statements about where Michael's body was. That was sealed, but it's out there. She made some significant statements about where Michael's body was. And that's why they started searching the back garden, the backyard. But they're now going to process the inside as well as the outside. So it's a methodical search, and they're obviously, I think what they did yesterday, because the big machinery wasn't there yesterday, I think what they've done is taken off kind of the layers, you know, they got kind of so far down. So then they were maybe, you know, doing some more kind of detailed work. And then they're going to take some more layers off today. That's kind of what I think they're doing. Okay. There's a cricketer called Michael Vaughn in the UK. So we get, when I put hashtag Michael Vaughn in Twitter, I get all cricket news as well. So these are Sarah Ann Wanderer's aliases. She also goes by the name Sarah Ann Ramsey, Sarah Ann Chambers. You know, I know she's been having an evaluation, a psych eval. I don't think she's insane. I think she's going to try and play the system. I think she's going to try and play the court. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay, so it goes on. Karen Lear, she's someone else who's been covering the case. So back to the Sarah Wanderer case regarding Michael Vaughn. As reported yesterday, her charges were taken off the public portal as discussions continue to seal the entire case. They're back online now. The judge unsealed the file and only sealed documents. She's still in custody. So I think they locked down the whole file, and they probably locked down the whole file just to go through it. So they've decided to kind of re-release the charges, and then the documents are still sealed. So all that documentation that was sealed at the arraignment is still sealed, but her charge is still there and everybody can view that. So I think that's where the confusion has been, that everything was taken off for a period of time. So now the charge has come back, but the documents are still sealed. So what is back online now, SSS, is the charge. So this that you can see here, the charge for Sarah Ann Wanderer is back online, but the documents are still sealed. So the documents pertaining to the probable cause affidavit and the investigatory materials that link to that are still sealed as of this moment in time. But you can check iCourt. So if you go to icourts.idaho.gov and just put her name in, you can check it yourself. You can check what's available yourself if you want to. Okay, so next piece. That's relating to Lori Vallow. Okay, so Karen Lear also said 20 minutes ago, Cassie, chewing my chair again. No. Payette County Clerk tells me documents will most likely be unsealed at a later date. For now, it is just a criminal complaint outlining the charge that she's accused of that is available, so that the actual charge is still available. So that, or just that, the criminal complaint. So State of Idaho, blah, blah, blah. Hereby inform the court that the defendant, Sarah Ann Wanderer, is accused of this complaint, the crime of failure to report death, which is a felony, committed as follows. Sarah Ann Wanderer, on or about November 12th, 2022, in the county of Payette, state of Idaho, did fail to notify or delay notification to the coroner or law enforcement of the death of Michael Vaughn, with the attempt to prevent discovery of the manner of death, which is a violation, and then the criminal code there in statute. Are you the only one glitching? Probably not. My internet's pretty rubbish, and it has been a bit rubbish all day. So it could just be you, or it might be me. I don't know. It looks okay on my big screen here. Looks okay. But who knows? All right. So that currently is available to view. But the rest of the documentation, there you go. The Payette County Prosecutor's Office has confirmed Sarah Ann Wanderer's court records are sealed. So all the records, the documentation is sealed. It's just the criminal complaint and the charge that is unsealed. So I hope that's clear. Why is this not scrolling up like it should? So Morgan Romero has reported a new update. Payette County Clerk, because of the confusion, right? Because of the confusion, the judge has now unsealed the case, so the charge and the criminal complaint, and just sealed the documents other than the criminal complaint. Say's case should now be in high courts and proceedings are always public. So the proceedings, the thing, you know, every time she appears in court, that will update. So the date, and there might be a little bit of blurb about what happened. All of that is public domain information anyway. So that will continue to be unsealed. But the records are still sealed. All right. So that's where we're up to today. That's the latest today. So we wait. Once again, we wait. There may be an update at noon UK time. So were you all able to see that? I did have my share screen on. It did look like it was sharing. So do I really think we, the public, should be told if he's found or already been found? I think they'll tell us. I think they should tell us, but only once the identification has been made and the family's been informed. That's just my opinion. They might hold off. You know, sometimes they'll say, you know, we found some evidence, and then be quite vague on what that evidence is. But perhaps in this case, given how high profile it's got, perhaps they won't. Perhaps they'll hold everything back until they're able to make a definitive statement. That's just my opinion. That's what I think is going to happen. But they have said they'll be there about another week. They're going to process. We don't know if he's not been found. We don't know, Melissa. We don't know. Like I said, it could be that they're going to wait until they can give one definitive statement. If you're talking about Bentley, are you talking about Bentley, Robert? Bentley was found, yes. Bentley was found safe. So Bentley Stancil, 9-year-old, missing from Wendell, North Carolina since yesterday. He was found safe in the woods just before noon, North Carolina time. So he's now safe. Exactly. Exactly, Monica. I agree. I agree. I'd rather not know anything at all, even if it means I've got absolutely nothing to talk about. I would rather not know anything and it maintain the integrity of the investigation than know everything and then the case be completely untriable because all the information that they would need to be able to successfully try that person has been either leaked, and it makes jury pooling an absolute impossibility. There's so many reasons why to maintain the integrity of an investigation that we shouldn't know. We shouldn't know everything. But I do think that if they found some evidence, they're not just going to jump on camera and tell us, oh, we found this little piece of this or that. They're going to wait until there's a definitive answer, until they tell us. And the way it's being done is very, very, very methodical. It's not just going in there with, you know, that big machinery and just digging big chunks of earth out. That's not how it's happening. Like they're taking off, they're skimming off a layer at a time. And then that's being taken away. That earth that's being skimmed off is being taken away, truckload after truckload, and the earth itself will be processed. So if they do find something significant in one of those trucks, then they'll do sifting of that the earth around that. It's methodical. You know, it'd be done in like a grid pattern, so they'll know exactly where that earth was, how deep that earth was that came off where that evidence was found, because that's what will be necessary for trial. So painstaking. And then the inside, now they've said that Chief Huff told us yesterday that they're going to process the inside of the house as well. So that will be a full forensic search of that house. That may have even happened already. Don't know. We don't know. We don't know. It's a good question. We don't know. All Chief Huff said was that it was someone inside the house that led them to that property. So process of elimination, that has to be Stacey Wanderer or someone who was staying there at that property. Not necessarily currently, maybe previously, because they have had roommates in the past. So, you know, people said, oh, well, it's what Sarah Wanderer said that was the reason why they're searching the yard now. Well, not really, because although Sarah did make some significant statements, once they went in the house, they went in and with the search warrant on Friday evening, something led them there in the first place. So yeah, although Sarah did make some significant statements, they'd already been led to that property. That property was not on their radar until somebody from inside that house led them there. So don't know as of yet who that was and what other evidence they've got in addition. You know, people are saying, oh, well, you know, what Sarah said, you know, that's been reported in East Idaho News, what Sarah said was just the talk of a crazy woman. Well, it could be. I don't think she's crazy, FYI. However, even if it is the talk of a crazy woman, that's not the only evidence they've got. That's not the only evidence they've got. Because something led them there in the first place. To get a search warrant to to search a property, there has to be probable cause in the first place to get that warrant. A judge won't sign off. Oh, we fancy searching that house over there. The judge would laugh them out of his room, out of his office. He'd be like, why? Oh, just because we fancy it. Well, no, you can't. That's an invasion of privacy. There has to be a very good reason why a search warrant is signed off on. Therefore, if it's someone from inside the house, then it's a process of elimination. But yeah, I mean, so many criminals hide behind religion. I know. Have you seen some of their TikToks? I mean, they're just silly. I mean, I'd play them, but I just don't like looking at them. I don't like looking at them. I have looked at them in my own time. I don't like looking at them. Yes, there are possibly others. Yeah. Chief Huff has kind of intimated, he said they want to get everybody concerned. So it is likely that they're looking at others. Who and how many, don't know. So we just wait. I know it's heartbreaking. And, this is not a quick, when it came out, when the news broke, I think my first live stream on this a few days ago now was, will today be the day? And it's become very clear that this is not a quick, go dig a hole, find the remains, and then, hey, presto, done and dusted, let's get the trial date set. It's not that simple. Not at all. Thank you, Kimberly, for 49 pounds in my currency. I think he did. He was just really friendly little boy, liked to play, liked people, very active, active mind. And yeah, kids at 5 tend to be quite trusting, don't they? Not all of them, but it's a difficult age, 5, because you're independent enough to kind of know your own mind, and you're given that tad more freedom, and you're not kind of in a pen, like in a crib or a playpen. You kind of, you can do your own thing a little bit in your home, and yet you're not old enough, mature enough to understand all the dangers that are out there in the world. So it's a difficult age. I think that's why so many 5-year-olds go missing, like that age group, 5, 6, 7, that kind of age. There's a lot. I mean, there's more older people go missing than 5-year-olds, but I'm just saying, compared to kids that are younger, I think 5 is the age where you start to see these missing kids. And I think it is because they don't recognize the danger. But yet they're too old to be kind of in a playpen, and have the whole world controlled. So what's that? Saw a video possibly wiretapping of house and car, allegedly. Oh, I don't know what that relates to. I haven't seen that. You heard her place was bugged and they heard her on the phone. Where have you been? Where are you hearing these? Oh, I see. Nana's Angel is reading an email from a neighbour right now. So is this one of the neighbours of the Wanderers? I'd rather wait to hear it from law enforcement, honestly. I mean, I'm not saying what's being talked about isn't true. I'm not saying that at all. And it's just say that, there tends to be a lot of rumours and things. It's quite possible. But what led them to her vehicle and her house being wiretapped. Do you see what I mean? There has to be reason why they would do that, because they'd need a sign off from a judge to do that, wouldn't they? They can't. You can't just go and, you know, law enforcement can't just go and wiretap your car. There has to be good reason for that. So the police said that they've been working this angle for about a year. I know there's been things going on behind the scenes for a lot longer than we've realised. I don't know whether it would be a year. I don't know whether it's that long, but it's quite possible, absolutely possible, that law enforcement were led there quite some time ago, several months ago even, and have been biding their time and collecting evidence. It's quite possible that that's the case. But how would the neighbours have known about that? Why would the neighbours have known? Wouldn't the neighbours have told wanderers? You know, I don't know. Again, they had to have good reason to suspect that house and those people to bug them in the first place. So if that's a result of the neighbour reporting suspicious behaviour, well, that could make sense. It's interesting speculation. Don't want to go too much into the realms of speculation, because I know the family don't want us to do that. They want us to stick to reporting the facts. So could be. Let's keep it in mind. What's with the scooter? No, in the very, very early days of this case, there was mention of a scooter, that he was out there playing on his scooter. So could be that the scooter is part of the evidence that they're looking for. So it could be that. Don't know whether it's been found. We don't know if anything's been found, as I said before. Where's Blind Bob? I don't know. Blind Bob's not been here for a while. Oh, who's Blind Bob? Oh, he's just a funny guy. He comes in like pretending to troll me, but he pays me to do it. And he's funny. He's nice. He's a nice guy. So they heard her talking on the phone. So is that the neighbour that heard her talking on the phone? Well, there you go. They'll be witnesses for the state, and I don't think they should be talking on YouTube, quite frankly, or their emails being, because that's evidence. That's evidence. Let's keep the evidence chain clean, in my opinion. It could well be true, but let's just be careful, because this is all evidence that's going to be brought up in court. And if this has been scrutinised by YouTube already, a defence lawyer will play on that. You're giving the defence stuff to work with. So let's just be really careful. I'm making you laugh, am I? Well, I'm glad. Because we're so close, you know, assuming that what the police have comes into fruition and Michael is found. This is day one of the justice process for Michael. Let's not mess it up. Let's not give the defence something that they can, you know, get somebody off who's guilty. Let's not play into their hands. Let's keep the evidence chain clean, in my opinion. I hope nothing like that comes out. I mean, although it's tantalising, if, you know, the neighbours have got cameras, it's tantalising to want to see it. But again, this is evidence. We need to keep that evidence clean. Yes, they did. Talked about it the other day on my live the other day. I also put the information in a video because I found the time that was posted on TikTok. Let's show you. Show it you. TikTok.com. No, I'm not sharing. I'm just going to get the right account up first of all. Don't use TikTok very often, so I have to like type it all in longhand. Okay, all right. I've got the account up here. So the account is Sarah and Stacey W. I just don't like looking at his face. I don't like looking at either of them, to be quite frank. This one, this TikTok here, I'm going to turn the sound off on it because it's got a song on it and it will flag my stream. Yes, Christina, do kids in the UK start school at 5? Yes, they do. They actually start school. The school year runs from the 1st of September to the 31st of August, like the following year. So if it's the year you turn 5. So some kids have actually only just turned 4 when they go to school. Like if they turned 4 on, let's say, the 31st of August, they're going to be the youngest kid in their year, and they'll only turn 5 when the other kids are nearly 6. So that's how it works. Like I was an older kid in my year because my birthday's in September, so it was I was one of the oldest. I wasn't the oldest, which annoyed me. So anyway, right, this is the video. I'm gonna quickly turn the sound off. How do I turn the sound off? Oh my god, hold on. There we go. That's the video. Oh, stop it. You're going to flag my stream. I don't know how to use TikTok. How do I turn the sound off? Oh, my God. Where am I going now here? Right. I'm not even going to try and play it. But, yeah, it's just a few seconds of that. And that was posted the day Michael went missing. 27th of the 7th. 2021, the very day. Now, TikTok doesn't give you the time. Sing loudly over it. Yeah, I'll get a flag for my singing. Like TikTok, YouTube would be like, we don't want that noise on our platform. Thank you very much. Yeah, TikTok doesn't give you the time it was posted, but you can find it in the source code. So I found it in the source code, which is this. Hold on a sec. I'll share it a different way to be able to show you this. Right, I found it in the source code. All right, just let me get this up because I took a screenshot of it, but I've got to find it. Here we go. All right, so you go into the metadata of the video, you find create time, and then that number is Unix time. That number is how many seconds have elapsed from midnight 1st of January 1970 to the time that code was created. And it works out in Idaho time as the 27th of July, 7:40, almost 7:43 in the morning. So yeah, there is a video of somebody on that account driving, and it was posted at 7:42, almost 7:43 in the morning. So what does that mean? I don't know. Why they posted that, I don't know. I don't know. But they were quite active on social media. So they had a TikTok account. They've got numerous Facebook accounts. There's a lot. people are posting stuff that they've posted on social media. I don't like looking at them, so I don't want to even go through. There's a TikTok video of Sarah's Lexus being worked on. Right, front quarter panel and passenger mirror damage. Can you tell me what date that was? Don't know. Let's have a look. Because they've got more than one TikTok account as well. So the TikTok that I found was Sarah and Stacey's, but they had several. So I don't know what account it would be on, honestly. Have a look on. All right, I found another account of theirs here. So that's the Sarah and Stacey W. That's the one that we've just looked at. We've got Sarah and Stacey. Maybe that's not. See, some of these are not theirs, but you can look at all these videos here. Alexis being worked on. Don't know. Load more. If you know which account it's on. See, these are not theirs. Oh, that's some kid. But I'm not sure that. I don't know which account they would be using, to be honest. Because that's their main one. See if it's on this. You see, this is when Michael went missing here. So everything before this is before Michael went missing. So there we go. That's it. So that's 2019. December 2019. Do you see it? Oh, no, sorry, no. 19th of December 2020, sorry. Can't even read now. Can you see that? So 12, 19, 2020. So that's before Michael went missing. Well before Michael went missing. Well, you ain't got no Lexus in jail now. White car across the street from Michael saw him when he went missing. I don't know whether it's that same car. So there you go. That's the answer to that. It was in 2020. So before Michael went missing. Yeah, the day before Michael went missing, Stacey had posted on Facebook that he was worried. Oh, my baby's gone to the ER. My baby's gone to the ER. So worried about her. So she had an ER visit. We don't know whether she had to stay in hospital overnight. We don't know whether Stacey was home alone the day Michael went missing. We don't know whether she just went to the ER, got some medication and came straight home. We don't know. So I guess. Yes, I don't know. I know she's had mental health problems in the past. Sarah Ann Ramsey has her adoption certificate. Okay, so, all right, if she was adopted, that would explain a change of name, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there is that theory, and again, I don't want to go into the realms of theories at this moment in time, but it's been speculated that they hit Michael with a car and they covered it up. I don't believe that personally. If you'd hit somebody with a car and needed to cover it up, you wouldn't have his missing poster on your fridge, would you? You just wouldn't have done. You wouldn't do that, even if you were desperate to cover it up because maybe you were intoxicated and you thought you were going to get like done, and you covered it up. You're not going to put that little boy's missing poster on your fridge. I don't believe that personally. But as I said, I don't want to speculate too much. And the damage to the vehicle was before Michael went missing anyway, months before. Some people do have multiple accounts. A lot of people do. Like, I've got 2 Facebook accounts. One I don't use anymore because I used it for work. We had to have a separate account for work. I've got, how many Twitter accounts have I got? I've got 3 Twitter accounts. One of them was a work one, which I don't work there that now. So I used to run the social media for my work, where I worked previous. So I had the Twitter login, and I was the person behind the account. But I have 2 personal Twitter accounts. What else? I have a TikTok, but I don't post on it. I have 2 Instagrams. I don't post on either. So there's plenty of reasons why people will have more than one account. You know, if you're running a business, you might have a business account. So you'd have a business account for your Facebook, business account for your Instagram, business account for your whatever else. And then you have your personal ones. And then some people keep separate accounts for like family and friends, and yeah. So it's not necessarily nefarious. But I can't keep account of all the accounts I've got, so who knows? Who knows? Hold on a minute. Was there a big update? There hasn't been any big updates this morning. It's all pertaining to the sealing, unsealing, and sealing again of court records. The big machinery is back. Let's do an update. It will be almost midday Idaho time. I'm just wondering whether there will be an update on at midday. There was yesterday. Don't know whether there'll be an update again today. Let's have a look what's going on. Oh, here we go. There is an update. Right, let's listen. Let's listen.
And it looks like we're going to be seeing a bit of a change as we head into Thanksgiving week. We've got the forecast. The news at noon starts now.
Watching Idaho's News Channel 7. This is the news at noon.
And welcome to the news at noon. I'm Doug Petcash. Today, autopsies are scheduled in the hopes of providing more information on the exact cause of death in the homicides of 4 University of Idaho students. Moscow police are also planning to hold a news conference today at 4:30 Mountain Time. We hope that's able to shed some light on what happened to these 4 victims. Yesterday, as part of their homicide investigation, Moscow police said investigators believe an edged weapon, such as a knife, was used. But they say as of right now, they have not recovered a weapon. They also say investigators believe this was an isolated, targeted attack, and there is no imminent threat to the community. We first reported students are leaving early for Thanksgiving break, especially in the neighborhood where it happened. But for those who stayed, they're having trouble understanding how police can assure safety with no one in custody. News Channel 7's Andrew Bartline is in Moscow and talked to students.
When we first arrived on scene earlier, this reported students leaving campus early for Thanksgiving break, especially here in this neighborhood. Now, some students have chosen to stay, but they're struggling to understand how a suspect cannot be in custody, yet police continue to insist that they're safe.
Driving past the flowers on Highway 8 or walking near the Main Street candles. The reminders are scattered throughout Moscow.
It's been a little bit uncomfortable.
4 murders, killed by an edged weapon, such as a knife. Suspect in custody, but Moscow police insist the community is safe.
The police could be more forthcoming about details.
Students cut right to the chase.
Especially since, it happened so close to campus. There's so many people here that could be potential victims.
Yeah, I don't want to have both my AirPods in because I don't want anyone to attack me or anything. I'm just being more wary of anything, really. It just feels a little bit dangerous.
Investigators are still hashing out the scene. Assisting agencies include Idaho State Police and the FBI.
Well, there was a lot of blood. It was,
Kathy Mabbitt is the Latah County coroner.
It's a very sad scene for murdered college students.
Mabbitt and police have not said when exactly the killings happened between Saturday night and Sunday morning. Police found the bodies after responding to a call for an unconscious person. Police tell KTVB that unconscious person is among the former, shutting down rumors and speculation.
No, there are 4 homicides.
Police are looking for a suspect and saying no one else is injured outside the 4 killed.
It's safe and no suspects. I'm just confused about what's going on.
I still don't feel entirely safe when I don't know all the information. They probably do know, they're just not telling us.
Students responded to this uncertainty by leaving early for Thanksgiving break.
A week worth of school isn't worth it. If you're just going to be scared every day.
And for those, they're not just. They want answers. Answers to explain those reminders they now see every day.
There could be someone still a threat around campus. I don't know. That doesn't really make anyone feel too safe around here.
Statement of "Don't worry, you're safe."
Yeah.
It doesn't for you?
No, it definitely doesn't. It feels...
Is this really glitchy?
Police have not found a murder weapon.
It's really glitchy for me.
Tell us that they cannot release information that would hinder the investigation or any subsequent prosecutions. They have since released a statement telling the community that they hear them, they understand concerns, and reiterating that message. They say this is a targeted attack and the community is not in danger. Reporting from Latah County, Andrew Bartline, Idaho's News Channel 7.
And police say the limited information is necessary for their investigation. Again, we are expecting the police department's first news conference to be held at 4:30 today, Mountain Time. You can watch that live here on the news at 4, as well as on ktvb.com. We'll stream it. The university will host a vigil to honor the memory of the victims. Dean of Students Blaine Eccles sent out an email to students saying the vigil will be scheduled for when students return to campus after Thanksgiving. That's the week of November 28th. Eccles also said this will allow more students to attend since, quote, a great number of students have already left the Moscow campus. We'll keep you updated as we learn the new date and time. And tomorrow, Boise State University will hold a vigil to honor the 4 students killed. ASBSU, that's the Associated Students of Boise State University, posted the announcement on social media last night. The vigil was originally set for today, but has been moved to tomorrow. The vigil will be at 5:30 p.m. at the B Plaza on the south side of the administration building, just off University Drive. The vigil will include a moment of silence, student speakers, and support counseling services. New developments today in the case of the Rexburg woman accused in the deaths of 2 of her children and her current husband's late wife. For a second time, Lori Vallow has been found competent to stand trial. Vallow and her husband, Chad Daybell, have pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder and conspiracy charges related to the deaths of Joshua J.J. Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and Tammy Daybell. A competency hearing for Vallow took place on November 9th. The document detailing the reasons why the court found Vallow competent and the details of her mental health is sealed. Vallow was scheduled to stand trial with Daybell in January, but that date will be rescheduled. Daybell's attorney has filed a motion to split the cases. The judge has not yet issued his decision on that motion. Another big story we're continuing to follow. Crews are back out searching for Michael Vaughn today. Authorities believe the boy's remains are in the backyard of a Fruitland home. Yesterday was the 5th day crews worked on excavating that yard, digging 3 to 4 feet deep. Michael disappeared from his home, or from his Fruitland neighborhood, in July of 2021 when he was 5 years old. Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff says they are in the fine-tuning phase and want to be careful to preserve any evidence. However, he couldn't tell us whether they have found anything yet. He says they could be there for another week. Law enforcement and search and rescue crews have been removing dirt from this backyard on Red Wing Street, just 4 minutes from the Vaughan's home. That dirt is sent off site to be processed and analyzed. Huff says a credible tip led them to this home, adding the tip came from someone inside the home. Chief Huff tells us they plan to search inside the house too. Police arrested one of the people who lives in the home. 35-year-old Sarah Wandra was booked into jail over the weekend, charged with failure to report a death. Police say they have probable cause to believe she knew about Michael's death and didn't report it to police. Chief Huff says she has not been cooperative with the investigation. Court records show the judge ordered a competency evaluation for Wandra to determine if she is competent to stand trial in this case. Again, Michael went missing from his Fruitland neighborhood on July 27th of 2021. He has not been seen since. Chief Huff could not tell us if any other arrests are coming, but he did release a statement on social media last night saying in part, "We are encouraged and remain hopeful that our investigation will lead us to the truth." Checking on weather now, it's 32 degrees at 12:06. Let's check.
There you go. So that's that's KTVB News, and that was the midday update. So we had to wait a little while there to get an update about Michael's case. So that's horrible. That's going on the University of Idaho. That is horrible. So if you're following that case, I'm not following that case. I've got so many cases that I'm following, but I'm not following that one. But there is a press conference at 4:30 today. If you want to go and check that out, 4:30 Mountain Time today. And then Lori Vallow's back in the news. We'll all have died of old age by the time her trial date actually goes. She actually gets to trial. We'll all have died of old age, including Lori herself. So, God, how long's that been going on? But she's now competent again. She's competent again to stand trial again. Hello, Bob. Bob's iPhone's in the house. Even though I can't see, I'm here to support you. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for the $1.99. Michael, nothing new today by the sounds of things. I did put this in my stream very early this morning, but I'll read it again for those who missed that stream. It was right at the end, so I'll read it again. Just let me find it. City of Fruitland Police put quite a long update on their Facebook for Michael. So let's read that again here. Hold on, just let me get it up and then I'll share my screen for you. Okay, so this is 16 hours ago now, as I record this. So let's just check. Yeah, that's sharing. Okay, so update the search for Michael Joseph Vaughn. The search continues for Michael Joseph Vaughn, now age 6. We will not stop searching and investigating his abduction until we find Michael and bring those involved to justice. So they're talking about those involved. So they're talking in the plural. So I think they know that there's more than one person involved here. And Chief Huff has talked in the plural throughout the last few days. Every update that he's done, he's talked in the plural. So in my opinion, there's definitely more than one person involved. Through the course of our investigation, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughn could be found in the backyard of 1102 Redwin Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department was granted a search warrant for the residence. So here it says, as a result of that credible information, they got the search warrant. So this is not dependent on what Sarah told them when they turned up on Friday evening and the crazy talk that some people say. I don't think she's crazy. Personally, I think she knows exactly what she's doing. But the things that she said that were sealed in the probable cause affidavit as a result of the arrest, that's not what led them to the address. So it states here. right, that they got credible information. And Chief Huff has said that that was as a result of someone from inside the house. So as a result, the Fruitland Police Department was granted a search warrant for the residence, along with to include the front and backyards. The search warrant was served on Friday, November the 11th in the late evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wanderer, 35, one of the known occupants of the home. Fruitland Police arrested Sarah Wanderer as there is probable cause to believe that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report the death to law enforcement. So that's where we're up to with Sarah Wanderer. We know that. We know she's been arraigned. She's in jail. We know she made some significant statements. Whether you choose to think that that's the talk of a crazy woman or whether she's talking about things she knows remains to be seen. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of Wanderer's home. Ground conditions have not impeded the excavation, so that's good. Like, it hasn't been raining. You know, they've not ended up with like pools and pools of water, mud that they've had to wade through. The ground conditions have been good, and I hope that they continue to remain good. Okay, so Idaho Search and Rescue deployed specialty canines during the excavation. So we know that they've had 2 cadaver dogs on scene. They were there Sunday, Monday, they were there. Don't know if they've been there since. At this stage in the investigation, it's important that nothing is missed. So law enforcement will and continue to excavate and search the property. It's a slow process, but we will continue until we're confident that the search of the property is complete. Chief J.D. Huff said, "We are encouraged and remain hopeful that our investigation will lead us to the truth. It is our belief that there are others who have knowledge of the abduction and the death of Michael Vaughn." So there in black and white, it is our belief there are others. So I don't know whether this is others. Geraldine, what do you mean wrong video? I don't know what you mean by wrong video. I'm reading here from the City of Fruitland Police Facebook account. I don't know what you mean by wrong video. Anyway, okay, so does that mean others outside of the home or who were living in the home at the time? We don't know. This investigation is ongoing. To date, the Fruitland Police Department has received over 1,500 tips and leads. We have received many new leads since this portion of the investigation began on Friday. So not only is there a search excavation taking place, which is slow and methodical, there's also a renewed desk investigation, because every one of those leads has to be followed up on. So there's also a desk investigation alongside. So, you know, Fruitland Police Department, they're only a very small department. I'm sure that the Idaho State Police are helping them with this, but this is a lot of work, guys. This is a lot of work. So bear with them. Bear with them. Rome wasn't built in a day, and justice for Michael is not going to come in one day. Let's just let them do their job. We would ask for your patience as we continue to work through this. We would also ask that the Vaughan family's privacy be respected. We will post updates as information can be shared. If someone has or learns of information that can help find Michael, we want that information now. Tips can be sent to findmichael@fruitland.org or to Crime Stoppers at 343cops.com. Tips may remain anonymous. Please keep Michael in your prayers. Official updates will be posted on this Facebook page. So that's the update from the City of Fruitland Police Facebook, the official Facebook account 16 hours ago, as I speak to you right now. So that's that. In terms of what happened this morning, for those who've just come in, there was a little bit of confusion about what documentations were sealed and what wasn't, but the sum total of it is a little bit down here. Okay, so a little bit of confusion, but this is the clarity here. Update from Payette County Clerk. Because of the confusion, the judge has now unsealed the case and just sealed the documents other than the criminal complaint. So you can see the criminal complaint and the charge on the iPortal. So if you want to go and look at it, it's mycourts, all one word, .idaho.gov. And then just put Sarah Wanderer in the search and the information will come up. But there's nothing new in there. It's just that the documents are sealed. So the criminal complaint, for those who haven't seen it, is this. I'm actually going to save that. I don't think I saved that. I save everything to my files. So this is the criminal complaint here. I'm sure that some of you will have seen this already. So hereby informs the court that the defendant, Sarah Ann Wanderer, is accused by this complaint of the crime of failure to report a death. And that's the statute number there, and that's a felony. Said crime being committed as follows. Sarah Ann Wanderer, on or about November the 12th, 2022, in the county of Payette, state of Idaho, did fail to notify or delay notification to the coroner or law enforcement of the death of Michael Vaughn, with the intent to prevent discovery of the manner of death, which is a violation of, and then that's the statute. Oh, what's going on here? Messages deleted. Oh, what's going on? Thanks, Trixie Star. If there's anything negative going on in the chat, then please stop. Please stop. All right, so no, Dina, the Wanderers haven't confessed. No. So Sarah Wanderer is not being cooperative. That's all we've heard at the moment. But no, they didn't confess. Wait, well, as far as we know, I don't know about Stacey. Sarah Wanderer is being uncooperative. She made some significant statements when they issued the search warrant. She made some significant statements regarding Stacey. But as far as we know, there hasn't been a confession. However, there could have been, because Stacey has been in jail since, what, May? On unrelated charges. So Stacey's been in jail for, what, how many months? 7 months? 8 months? Denied bond on weapons charges. Well, we're not sure what the charges are. Everything seems to have been sealed, or most things have been sealed, but there's some information. It seems to be weapons charges. So what he said, like I said, I don't want to speculate too much, but Chief Huff said someone in the house led them there. So could that have been a confession by Stacey? Well, if there was a confession, wouldn't he have been charged? Because he's not been charged. So if he'd confessed to the murder of Michael Vaughn, he'd have been charged. Pretty sure. Maybe not, though. I don't know. Maybe they're gathering evidence. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But obviously something's going down behind the scenes that has led them there. Now, whether that's something recent or whether that's, as people are suggesting, has been ongoing for several months, could have been. This could have been going on, and they've had to. Yeah, that's come up earlier on in the chat in this stream, that there's a possibility that the house was bugged. Yeah, there is that possibility. However, they'd have had to have a reason to bug the house in the first place. They'd bug the house, but they'd have to have probable cause to go and bug the house. So there has to have been something that precipitated that. Do you see what I mean? We still don't know Bob's iPhone. That's absolutely right. We still don't know. And it might be a while before we find out. Yeah, give them some slack here, right? It's not just the excavation. It's not just the taking off the layers. It's the analysis of it. Also, you've got to think about. So, yeah, you could go and you could take 3 to 4 feet of earth off, but what they don't want to do is miss any evidence that might be very small but crucial. So, doing it with a spoon probably is, you know, how this is working. You know, take a layer off, investigate that layer, analyze that layer, and it's all got to be done in a pattern that can be, you know, spoken about in court. So they'd have to know exactly where in the property that section of earth came from, where that evidence was found, how far down it was. All of that will have to be documented. So it's not just a case of getting a bunch of earth and looking through it for bones or clothes or remains of a scooter. It's not that. This is painstaking. As well as there's also a desk investigation going on, following up on leads that are coming in since this has all happened. So every single one of those leads will have to be followed up on as well. They are the neighbours. They're the RSOs who live nearby, next door, I believe. That's who they are. According to Chief Huff, the neighbours have been cooperative during this investigation. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're not being looked at, but it means that they're being cooperative. So it could turn out that they become witnesses. We don't know. So I wish people would just leave them alone rather than ringing them up and stuff like that, contacting them. I wish people would just leave well alone and let law enforcement do their job. Absolutely. You're right. Oops. Absolutely. Charges can be dropped. Absolutely. Which is why we have to let law enforcement do their job. Don't contaminate any evidence. Don't do things that are going to impede the justice process. They do know what they're doing. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, these are experts at what they do. Many, many years of education goes into training to be a forensic specialist, a pathologist. So, yeah. Change my thumbnail. I can't change my thumbnail while I'm live. Why do I need to change my thumbnail? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my thumbnail? Bentley has been found, as I said at the beginning. I was going to, when I set up this live, when I put this live on the scheduler, Bentley had not been found, and then he was found in the time. It was just before midday North Carolina time, so it would have been 5 o'clock my time. So just as I was preparing this live, he was found. So there was a press conference early this morning by the sheriff, and I was going to play that, but seeing as he's been found, that's no longer relevant. But I want to keep Bentley's face on my thumbnail because he's been found, and it's good news that he's been found. It's been found safe. Found safe. So if that's what you're referring to, we talked about that at the beginning of the stream. I'm assuming that some neighbours will have surveillance. I hope that none of it finds its way onto the internet. Hopefully that stays as potential evidence in court. No, I don't think he was. I don't think he was. The sheriff said that he was found in woods, found safe. The sheriff speaking to the family regarding his running away. So there's no indication of that anything bad happened to him. It just seems like he ran away, didn't want to go to school for whatever reason, didn't want to go home. There could be things going on in the home, but that's obviously, we don't know anything about this story at all. And hopefully that will be dealt with behind the scenes now that Bentley's safe. It's very good news. It's very good news. Oh, I see. I think he means Michael. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I mean, it's just horrendous. Whatever happened, it's horrendous. I don't want to think about what happened, like the specifics of it. There'll be some things that we never find out, simply because, you know, if his remains are recovered in that property, it's a long time. That's all I'm saying. It's a long time. So any evidence that could have been found immediately, if it'd been found in the first few days or weeks or some, won't be there anymore. So there'll be some things we might never know. But I hope that there's nothing that could have happened to Michael that's preferable or nice or, you know. So they've got lengthy criminal records. Lengthy criminal records, yeah. Yeah, I would say the same, yeah. Bye, Robert. Bye, Robert. I'm going to go soon as well, myself. Let's just check to see if there's any further updates. It'll be 12:30. Usually, if there is going to be an update, it's late on in the day. Like they do the 12 o'clock one, and then they do the if Chief Huff wants to speak, they normally do it towards the end, don't they? Hold on. There's nothing of... That's the latest, 26 minutes ago. So Marcus Guadarrama, sorry, I've butchered his last name there. Anyway, this is from Marcus. Things are quiet here as the investigation continues in Fruitland. Heavy machinery is seen in the property today, but so far we haven't seen much action. Okay. So that was 41 minutes ago. So maybe there'll be an update later. Don't know. Nothing today, but it's going to be a long process. You could go to the toilet. Oh dear. Oh, thanks. Especially for a YouTuber. Can we get 1K thumbs ups? I doubt it. We're on 677, 679. Push it a little bit more. It's not for my ego. All right, I don't have an ego. I don't care. It's just good for the algorithm. It helps the video. Like, it spreads the video. That's what YouTube does behind the scenes. And it just helps the channel as well. You know, anything that you do engaging with the channel, whether that's liking it, whether it's engaging in the chat, whether it's writing a comment, sharing videos is good as well. It's anything that YouTube picks up as engagement is good. Watch time is another one that they pick up on. So if you watch a video all the way through, that helps that video like boost up in the algorithm. So there's things you can do to help the channel that don't cost you a cent. They don't cost you a penny. They're simple. Takes seconds. Simple. Like, share if you've got social media. Watch the video. Comment, even if you just hi Michelle. All these things are act as engagement. So yeah, go for a wee, Broken Goth Doll. Go for a wee. Go for a wee. I don't know. Every case, I think just about every case, there's always that speculation that there's some kind of satanic ritual. I don't know. I don't, you know, at the end of the day, if Michael has been murdered and buried in the garden, you know, that's the important thing now is locating him, taking him home to his family, laying him to rest, and getting adequate justice for the people that did it. So I don't know anything other than that. I just don't know. All right, guys, we're going to call it here. Thank you for being respectful in the chat. Thanks for the super chats and super stickers. Don't think we've had any new members today, but that's okay. I gave 20 new memberships away yesterday, courtesy of me. So I got 20 new members yesterday. If we reach 1,000 likes in the chat, we're not going to do it now, but, you know, we reached 1,000 likes on the stream yesterday, so I gave 20 memberships away, but we've not done it today, so no freebies today. So yeah, Laurie Vallow is deemed competent now again. Thank you, Cecile, for the $9.99. It's very, very welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll be back tomorrow, unless there's any really big news, and then I'll come back later, but I doubt that I'll be back later. But I'll be back tomorrow with the latest. All right, guys. Thank you to Trixie Star for moderating. I don't know if I had any other mods in, but I just saw Trixie there working hard. But thank you to the moderators. Thank you for being respectful. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.